Cowabunga dude, and welcome to this tutorial of TMNT, the Hyperstone Heist, the speedrun featuring the turtle with attitude, Raphael. This is going to be a move and combo tutorial featuring all of the ways to go fast. My name is Krunen, and let's talk about the options menu. So we're gonna be playing on hard for fun. Control pad is going to be A, which is perfectly fine for this Hori multi-stick fighting controller. We have 1 for attack, 2 for jump, and 3 for dash. Pretty standard. Back attack is off. We don't really need to use back attacks here. But that's personal preference. I think that both ways can work. Color is anime. That's what I grew up with, and I think we're ready to go into the game. So once again, this is Krunen. I've done a run for this for GDQ 2022, and I'm currently the world record holder for a multitude of categories for this one. So I wanted to impart some knowledge to some new players who might be picking up the Cowabunga collection, as well as maybe some tips for some older runners to bring their times down. All right. So first thing, we're gonna see below here, we're gonna have the name of our attack, as well as the damage values. So this basic attack, the first hit's gonna hit for 3, 4, 5, and 8. Most enemies have 17 HP, 18 HP, something like that. All right, so if we wanted to, let's bring on our first foot soldier. So we're gonna attack, 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 and he's gone. This is really slow, and we're gonna be going into a lot of other faster moves. But the basic attack is quite good. It has a pretty good distance and range. It hits things that are in the air, like Baxter, which is kind of important. So it is not too bad. All right, let's move on to our standing special. So standing special is going to be done by clicking attack and jump at the exact same time. Yes, it's the same time. It's just like the specials in TMNT 4, unless you're a smarty pants and you decide to put that on a single button. All right, this standing special is pretty darn good. Tons of damage, hitting that for 16. It gives you invulnerability frames, but there is one drawback. Does anyone see what's going on with my health bar? I might be in trouble. So you only have a limited number of uses for this, and the main real use of standing special, at least in this speedrun, is for Baxter because it does hit aerials, and also to deplete your health towards the end of the levels. Those are the two main ones. You can use it also on Krang. Krang's nice. You don't want to be doing dash specials all the time. We'll talk about those a little bit later. But standing special, great move. Great move. All right, let's talk about running. So basically for running, you're gonna be either holding left or right and then hitting the dash button. And notice that when I take my hand off the dash button, I am still dashing. So you can just do dash and then you have the finger, your fingers still available to do other moves. Cool. But if you try to do the button and then move around, it's not gonna work. And also, if you try to do this while doing diagonal or up or down, you're not going to get it. So if you're trying to, we'll talk about this for flip tackles later, but we're gonna be hitting multiple buttons at once. Specifically 3, 2, and then 1, so dash, jump, attack. So if you do not hit the button correctly, chances are you're gonna be jumping. And we don't wanna be jumping. So make sure that you're, in a direction, then you holding for the run. Pretty cool. All right. Next is going to be the shoulder tackle. Very basic. We're going to be running and then attack. We're going to be doing this a lot. This is the bread and butter from a pre-2021 era. That we used to use this on everything and kill everything with it. It does 10 damage. You just hit twice, you're all set. That's all set to go. So it is really good. It's a great move, especially for beginners who aren't super familiar with flip tackles just yet. All right, next is the slide. This does a little bit more damage, but I guess we have to talk about flipping first. Flipping? Okay. We're gonna be jumping or dashing, and then we hit jump. That puts Raph in a flipping animation. If you attack during that flipping animation, towards the beginning of it, you're going to be doing a slide. So I usually hit 3, 2, 1 really quick, like this. And this move's really good. It moves across the ground really quickly. It gives you invulnerability frames while you're doing it. It's a stupendous move, and specifically getting through like difficult terrain and a ton of enemies, things falling on your head, things trying to hit you with lasers. Slides are really nice. All right, next is going to be the free special. This one does not give you iframes, but why do we call it a free special? And the reason for that is it does not deplete your health. And to do this one, you're just going to be in a running animation and then hit jump and attack at the same time. This is going to be your boss killing move, basically. It does so much damage and it's so fast, and you can just keep on spamming it. Definitely want to practice those. All right, next. This is the most important move post 2021. This is the flip tackle. So when we're running, we're gonna flip and then hit. Now this tackle isn't any ordinary tackle. This tackle does twice the amount of damage as a regular tackle, and it is so good. It's so good. It does have one drawback. So if you notice that you're gonna be in that flip animation for a couple of frames. So if you're moving across the ground, you could get hit by something. You also have to gauge your distance. Well, tackles, you know, this is just gonna hit. This one you have to actually position yourself correctly. But it's gonna be dash, jump, attack, just like that. And we're gonna be using it a ton. Let's use it on this next group of enemies. Man, it just one-shots them all. It is so good. But you notice that you have to position yourself. So you're gonna see that we're gonna be starting off with a flip tackle and then doing a lot of cleanup work. But man, even like hitting all these guys like this, so good, so fast. All right, the next thing is throwing. We don't do a lot of throwing in the speedrun. Why is that? It's kind of slow. It kills one enemy, but you're stuck in there for a while. And unfortunately, the Genesis does not have parallax scrolling. I think that's what it's called. Or mode 7. Mode 7, I think. Yeah. Not parallax scroll. It's mode 7. So you can't just take a guy and throw him at the screen. Unfortunately, that one didn't get over to the Genesis. So throws are not quite as good as they used to be for TMNT Hyperstone Heist. All right, let's talk about jumping. So there's two types of jumps. There is the short hop, small jump, and then there is the big jump. We're going to be using mostly small jumps for this run, using for Raph, but the other turtles might want to use a big jump. All right, let's talk about hop kicks. So to do a hop kick, it is going to be plinking jump and then attack in a specific direction, just like that. If you try to do a hop kick in the air like this, it's slow. And so we want to be doing a direction and then plinking it. These are hard to do, and doing them consistently is very tough. But this move is the most important thing if you want to have a very quick Baxter fight with no deaths. And you'll notice that one thing that I do here, so this is a plinking motion, meaning you gotta hit jump first and then attack afterwards. If you do the same in time, obviously you're doing something special. So I like to have my forefinger up a little bit more on the button just to try to get this. But it's tough. It's tough. This one was definitely one of the things I put a ton of time in the lab. Okay, next is lofty kick. So if you're jumping from a high amount, and at a certain point you're gonna do this like lofty kick. Not very good for the speedrun, but it's very swaggy. Shoutouts to Skunky. Next, dive kicks. So if you're really high up and you're descending, or you're ascending and you hit a certain point, and you're just about to flip over, then you can do a dive kick. This is also pretty decent against Baxter, and it also is good for scrolling the screen, just like the slide and the dash. When you're on the right side of the screen to try to move it a little quicker, you can do a dive kick or a dash or a slide. All of those things are good. All right, next is the downward slash. So this doesn't do too much damage, unfortunately, for Raphael, but it works really well for Don. We're gonna be and there's two variants of it, of course. So there's the one where it's just really slow. So at the peak of your jump, you're hitting attack and you're going down really slowly. And then there's the one where you're a little bit more down, and you can see that Raphael comes down a little bit quicker. So sometimes it's useful. One other thing, which I don't know if I mentioned about jumping, is that you can control the direction of the y-axis as well as the x-axis. So it's fun, a lot of fun. All right, let's go into our combos. So we already talked about this one. This is the bread and butter. Just tackle. Kills pretty much everything really quick. This is gonna be your bread and butter. This is like close range combat. I don't know what to do. I'm basically gonna be moving on the x-axis. I'm gonna hit something, and I'm gonna hit it twice, and it's gonna be gone. All right, the next one is gonna be our basic into free special. So this is if you wanna move out, like after killing an enemy, you wanna book it to one side of the screen or the other. So it's gonna be basic into free special. So let's show that one off. So let's say I wanted to get to the right side, or I wanted to get to the left side. That's one good way to use it. And then there's also the basic into slide, which functions pretty similarly. Also kills enemies in 2 hits versus the 4 of the basic attack that we were talking about earlier. All right, the last one is a standing into free special. And this one I don't use too often, but you can use this to bring your health down a little bit. Oh, wait a second, we didn't talk about that too much. Why would we want to bring our health down? So at the end of every level, there's a little bit of a countdown that's going to count up the pips of your health. So if you do a basic into standing special, you're staying put, which is nice, and you're also reducing your health without actually getting hit, so you can continue to attack things. We might use this a little bit later. Another combo which I've failed to point out is you can just do tackle into free special. So you don't need to do, so you can do dash into free special, and you can do tackle into free special. One of those gives a little bit more distance. All right, hardware recommendations. I would say that a arcade stick is your best bet for this game. And that is because you're going to be doing a lot of plinking actions with your hop kicks, as well as your slides, as well as your flip tackles. Having 3 buttons and being able to hit them all one after the other is going to really help. Otherwise, you're going to be like dashing for a little bit and then trying to get and then trying to fat thumb 2 buttons at once, which you can do, but it's really tough. So if you do have a Genesis controller, this one's pretty good. Even like a 6 button or a 3 button, you can piano grip it, and just this works really well. I use this a good chunk before moving on to arcade stick. But with Cowabunga Collection coming out, you can use whatever controller you want. All right, so let's go through the sewers just once here, real quick. Oop. And try to show everything off. All right, so we're gonna be doing a ton of flip tackles. I mean, it's the best move, right? It just one-shots enemies, and as long as I have tons of things on one side of the screen and the other, you can bet I'm gonna be using a ton of this stuff. And then we're gonna be using any other attack to kind of do some cleanup work. So just doing some regular tackles. One other thing that you have to worry about when you're doing flip tackles is, of course, your distance. So sometimes it might just, you want to do 2 slides instead, and that'll do wonders for you. So these flip tackle, it also gets rid of the Rodneys, kills all these guys in one hit. Kills these Rodneys in one hit. Man. So it's just flip, tackle, and then cleanup work. That's basically the game right now. And it's a lot of fun. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of TMNT, the Hyperstone Heist. If you have any questions, be sure to put those in the comments below. Please, please give me that subscribe button. Please, please, please. It really helps the channel out, and it lets me know that I'm doing a good job. You know. All right. Well, that was the Seward's Expedition. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Discord. You can hit me up in the comments section below. You can find me on Twitch. You can watch that GDQ run I did months ago. Have an awesome day. And split. Sub 16. Yes.